So, hey everybody, how are we doing? Hey Jess, hey bestie Jojo, how you doing? Let me just get my screen next to me so I know what I'm doing. Let me put myself a little bit smaller so I can actually see the actual chat and who I've got here on the stream. So I have Joe, I have Jess, I have Florna. As you guys can see, I haven't named the stream. You know, I've got my notes here ready to talk through with you. I'm going to be talking about autism and grief today. Hey, Lamin, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about autism and grief. It's a subject that is close to my heart for right now, and I feel it's something that I need to discuss. Hey, Tom, how are you? And as the YouTube community, we lost someone very, very dear to us very recently. As you might be aware, we lost our dear friend Creators Alliance, aka Jeff, aka Gambling Joker. Thank you, Florna. And basically, he was someone very, very dear to me, or is someone still very, very dear to me. And I needed to approach this subject with obviously a bit of respect and dignity. Thank you, Lamin, for watching from Italy. I appreciate that. So I want to talk through my own experiences of grief and what it means for me as someone who is currently grieving and who is going through the process of missing her online best friend and having someone so soon taken away from you. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Why aren't you a wrench in here, Tom? Let me give you a wrench. You've been in here a while. So yeah, let me get my screen back up. There we go. Thanks, Tom. I now did give you a wrench, I believe. Let me just double check if I've done that. Yes, I have. Okay. Close that bit of it. I don't need that open. Oh. Yeah, let me close this. Screen smaller. Hold on. So I can see who I'm talking to. Hey, Shelley. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. So yeah, let's get into the, oh crap, I keep clicking into the chat. So yeah, let's get into the video, into the stream. So recently, as you know, I've all been going through a lot with regards to my YouTube friend, Jeff, aka Gambling Joker, aka Creators Alliance. He passed away on May the 21st, which really, really broke my heart, really broke who I was. And he is a big part of my channel. I miss him dearly. Me and Jeff had 4 years of friendship on this platform, and he did a lot with me to raise autism awareness. And I just wanted to kind of talk about that from my perspective. And hey, Sea Sky, how you doing? And I thought it'd be good to talk about this as a community thing, not just as someone who has been struggling with grief recently and has tried to continue being positive and trying to help people when they need help, because I know grief is such a big subject that they don't know what to do. So I just want to kind of briefly touch on my own experiences. Me and Jeff first met each other on this platform. Well, we've known each other 4 years, so what, 2021, 2020, 19. We met each other around 2017, 2018. And hey, Cabrera Gaming, how you doing? And he was under the name Creators Alliance at the time, and I was very, very new to YouTube. I didn't know really much what I was doing, and he basically invited me to become part of his community and asked me if I wanted to be interviewed by him. And at the time, I was still very kind of unsure what YouTube was about and finding my feet and that kind of stuff. And he interviewed me and basically did a really good interview. And I didn't know at that time he'd had qualifications in autism until I got to discuss that with him offline. And yeah, I found out he has a psychology degree and he's been working with children and adults with autism spectrum conditions, or autism spectrum disorder, as it's named in the States. And basically, I couldn't believe I met someone like him on this platform. I'm doing good, Cabrera Game. Thanks for asking. And basically, I didn't find anyone who had believed in me so much when I met Jeff. And he was the one who stuck by me. He was the one who supported me, had my back when I was being bullied, when I was being bashed, when I was being attacked. He was the one to defend me and to always speak my name in a positive light. He did numerous videos on me, which I will attach in the description afterwards, so you can go and watch it, because I don't want to be striked on my channel for playing the video. But yeah, Jeff always made me feel like I could do anything that I put my mind to. He basically talked about me in such a positive way that I didn't really feel like I had anyone against me, and like he was the number one person in my eyes that I spoke to. He was there at the end of the phone on Facebook. We would talk for hours and hours and hours and hours about how to help each other, and he was just someone who was my instant support, my instant go-to. And he just did a lot for me behind the scenes, with my confidence, with the way that I present myself, with the way that I'm able to talk about autism in such a more positive light. And I miss him dearly, I do. But I want to discuss grief in several other ways as well, because it's not just with Jeff that I felt this overwhelm and stress and anxiety, because I've lost a lot of family relatives in my short life so far. I've actually lost, including Jeff now, I've lost 13 people in an 11-year window. So, it's kind of made me feel really anxious and unsure about the future and how to see things. And Jeff put my life in a perspective that I never knew before. He was very much about looking after people and always supporting people, being your genuine self that you can be. And he taught me to respect people regardless of the situation, regardless of their background, regardless of their story. He was always self-aware and teaching me, Gemma, look, you have to be aware on YouTube. YouTube is cruel. It's a very cruel ground of people will make fun of you, and you have to learn to stand your ground. And Jeff taught me well to defend myself. He would let me speak my mind, and sometimes not in the most greatest way that I could have done, but I spoke my mind according to how I felt. And again, Jeff was there when I lost my gran. Like when I lost my gran, it was the most hardest loss for me. I struggled to present myself. I didn't know what to say or do. I was very aware that I was struggling to cope, and I was always upset all the time. The day that she actually died, Jeff phoned me on Facebook and he's like, "How are you?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, how am I? Like, my grandma's dead. Like, I don't know what to do." And he sat there and calmed me and reassured me everything was okay, and that she was proud of me, and that I would always remember her, and she'd always be in my life. And it kind of reminded me to be positive. And Jeff was just someone who really stood my ground with me and made me realize how important things like this are to do, because a lot of people misunderstand autism and grief. They misunderstand that. They think that it's something that I'm just trying to get attention or I'm begging for sympathy. No, I'm not. I'm doing this to educate you and to say, look, I grieve in a different way from you guys, because my autism makes it extremely difficult for me to cope. And when I lose someone, it doesn't just become someone who's gone, it becomes everything that's part of me. I feel the pain, I feel the struggle, I feel the hurt, I feel the confusion. I feel so much more empathy about it as well, because it's not just the person that's attached to me, it's the fact that I know they're gone and they're not coming back, and I have to adjust to what is. And it's just really hard, because I have to let them go, and I don't want to, and I don't want to let Jeff go, not yet anyway. And I know that he has gone. And hey, Mongo, how are you? Basically, I wanted to look at another person as well. Like when I lost my grandma, she's another person who I lost. When I lost my grandma, who's been gone 3 years this year, she died 3 days for Christmas. And basically, she'd been ill for quite a long time. She had the early onset of dementia. So she was slowly getting worse in her dementia. And she was actually in hospital because she'd had a fall. and she basically got worse. Her speech was going. She was basically not able to look after herself. She basically was very confused, and here to the kind of, she was finding things extremely difficult. And I didn't realise when I had to prepare to say goodbye to her, I didn't realise how much things had changed about her. When I used to go and visit her in hospital, it'd be different day to day to day to day, because she would change her looks. She would present herself differently. She would speak differently. And that really freaked me out because I wasn't aware of how ill a person could change. Hello, how to garden, how are you? And I wasn't aware of how much a person could change with regards to getting sick and the way that they present the illness and how they might come across as someone who's not well. And that really did test me because I didn't know how to cope. And the fact that I wasn't really told how ill my gran actually was until about 3 weeks before she died. And then I was told, it's getting worse, so we don't think she's going to be making it. And I had to prep my body and prep myself to think, right, okay, I've got to go onto a dementia ward to see her. I've got to plan to say goodbye. And I went to sit there with her a few nights, and it was horrid. Like, she made these horrible noises, and I just didn't know what to do. I had no preparation, no way of knowing that it was that was the final thing that was going to happen. And she just looked different. All her face had dropped and everything else like that. So I completely lost it at that point. I wasn't able to, hey, Boomer brother, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Basically, I just wanted to kind of touch on grief and autism, and basically kind of talk about how it's affecting me and how it's kind of crushing me, because grief is different from person to person. I get that. But from an autistic perspective, it is very, very, hey, Godspeed Super Beast, Nomadic Bike, hey, how you doing, Bill? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, I just want to talk through grief and what it's like for me. On my journey of grief so far, I've lost so many people, and I've had to adjust to each person who's passed in my life. Has been difficult. Like, I lost my auntie Nikki. She's another person to a rare heart disorder that was very, very sudden. She just collapsed and that was it. And then I lost my auntie June to cancer. So each person that I've lost in my life has had something fairly serious or out of the blue that's kind of took their life very, very quickly. And again, I've had to learn to adjust to what is. And I'm going to wrench Bill before I forget. There we go. Let me get my screen back up. There we go. But yeah, I just want to talk through this because I found it's a way of self-helping me and helping all the other people that are in this chat who may have gone through a similar situation what I've gone through, or may have basically gone through something very similar. Hey, Sharpshooter, how are you? Yeah, so basically I just want to talk through how I'm struggling with the loss of Jeff. It's really got to me, and regardless of where he is now, I hope to God he's at peace and I don't have to worry. But, losing Creators Alliance Jeff has really, really hurt me. Like, he was a big part of my channel. He did a lot for me behind the scenes. And I don't think people realise how attached he and me were to each other. And I miss him dearly. I do. It's hard because I don't want to accept he's gone. I don't want to accept he's dead. I don't want to accept that, I'm not going to see him again till when I'm up there and I get to see him again. But, it's difficult because grief and autism, there is so much mixed things, because I've not just been on the spectrum is one concept of it. And then having the grief on top of that makes it even more harder because I'm having to adjust again to another set of change, another set of losing someone who means a lot to me. And I'm having to deal with the fact it's reality. It is what it is. And I know he wouldn't want me to be sad, but the same point is, how can I not be sad when I'm hurting and I'm grieving and I'm trying to do the best that I can, knowing that I'm going to miss the guy and that I think about him all the time. And, it's hard. Yes, I've already done a tribute video to Jeff, and that was really uploaded last week and I found out. But again, it is a difficult way of talking to things. So, let's continue. Grief and being on the spectrum, I found it hard to control how I feel. I guess I've just kind of buried most of my feelings because I've been scared of upsetting people or seeing how they react to me. So again, it's my own self-perception, how I see things, how I deal with people, and I found it really, really hard to even talk to anybody about it, because, you know, it is something that I miss, and I know that he's up here probably laughing at me and probably thinking, oh, Gemma, good God, not again. Like, you know, I do miss people, like missing him and missing family relatives has made me kind of think about life in a total different perspective. And yes, grief has made me stronger. This is the positive thing out of it. Grief has made me stronger, more determined, more passionate, because I have to keep getting my message out. Hello, Michael Myers 86. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to my stream. I hope you're doing good. Grief has made me stronger because it's made me have a more fresh perspective, and it's made me look at life as something that has a challenge, and I have to fight it, and I have to be self-aware of what I'm doing. And, you know, it's just something that I've struggled to think about. And when I've had family pass away and I've had to say goodbye to them and going to visit them in like the chapel of rest, like, again, I didn't want to believe they were gone. Like, yes, I could see their bodies there peacefully. I could see that they were lying there in their caskets, like at peace and obviously in a deep sleep and stuff. But again, it's a change of having to think, oh, this person was alive not that long ago, and now this person's gone. So again, it's a change. It's the unpredictability. It's knowing that that person is not here physically, but they're here in spirit, and they can hear you, and that they are still around in a spirit form. But again, I've struggled to understand why people have had to leave me, and I've had a lot of loss over the last 12 years, and it hurts, because, you know, you think these people who are in your family, who are in your friends, are going to be around for a long time. Like, you think they're going to outlive you, and when you get told that this person's gone, like, you know, it does put life into a different perspective. And I miss Jeff dearly. I miss my grandmother. I miss my Aunt Nikki. I miss my Aunt June. I miss my friend Lewis, who's gone. Like, you know, I miss a lot of people who have died in my life, my friend Katie and others who I've not mentioned. Like, I've lost a lot of people in the last 12, 13 years, and God's taught me that we're meant to all be different, and that during my loss is when I'm strong, because I can sit here and tell you this stuff. I can sit here and not cry, you know, I want to, and show that I can talk about this stuff, because it takes someone like me who's going through this shit again to educate you, because grief is not an easy thing for people on the spectrum. It really isn't. Like, talking to you right now is extremely hard. Like, having to sit here and try and keep a straight face and be calm and be professional and all that kind of stuff, you know, it is hard, because I don't know what to do. And oh, have a blessed evening, Ursi. Take care, my friend. Thanks for coming in. And I understand that each person's grief will be different, and that I feel this is an area to speak about. I know I have my own struggles, and I struggle to control my emotions, like I've said, but I wanted to share this as a remembrance to Jeff, as a way to finally let him go, and finally let all the other people I've had in my life go, who I've missed, who I've not really grieved or spoke about, because I didn't see the way of how to do it. But now I want to make sure that my family members who I've lost are resting in peace, and that I know they're all up there in their peace, and they're not in pain, they're not suffering. And like Jeff, he's not in pain anymore, and he's not suffering. You know, I miss you like crazy. You know, and yeah, these are just some, I want to end on some tips and tricks of how to help people. And, you know, it's been hard, I'm not gonna lie. The last 3 weeks I found intensely difficult. I've cried nearly every day. I've gone and watched old videos of Jeff, which I probably shouldn't have done, knowing full well that I'm upset. But I found that as a way of comfort. I found it as a way to still have his voice in my head, and kind of not forget that Georgian twang that he had to his voice. And, you know, I just do things like that to self-help myself. And these are different tips and tricks for your own perspective. Like, these won't work for everybody. I'm going to say that right now. These are just tips and tricks that have worked from my own perspective and what I've done in the past that seemed to self-help me and make me feel a lot more confident in myself. Things that I've learned to start doing to keep busy and to make my life a little bit more easier than it has been in the last 3 weeks. And I don't know, I guess I just wanted to talk and kind of get my thoughts and feelings out of my head and kind of not feel like I'm trapped in my own voice. And it's difficult because when they're so young as well, like when Jeff passed, he was only 35. Like, that's no age. Like, no one should be dying that young. Like, that's the shock of it as well. Like, no one should be going that young. It made him only 3 years older than me. That's quite scary, really, to lose someone quite similar to my own age, in my own age bracket. So yeah, let's get on to the tips and tricks that I've written down for you guys. I don't want to make this a too long stream, because obviously I don't want to bore you and I don't want to make you all upset and kind of worry about me. I'm good. I'm just needing to get this out and hopefully okay, Sharpshooter, I appreciate you coming in here. I'm just going to wrap this stream up now, Sharpshooter. Anyway, have a good one, Sharpshooter. Thanks for coming in. So things that have helped me are poetry, which has helped me to get my feelings out in a safe, constructive therapy way. It's helped me to think about who I am. It's helped to ground me. It's helped to make sure that I don't explode at people who don't deserve it around me. Also vlogging about it, talking about my emotions and my progress of how I'm dealing with loss and pain and grief in general with someone being on the spectrum and the time processes that you go through. So obviously, like stage 1, you have denial, then you have pain, and you don't want to accept that the next step is going to have to be a funeral or cremation or burial, depending on the person, what their wishes were, either burial, cremation. I know some people prefer cremation over burial. That's fine. Also, listening to music's been one of my biggest assets. Listening to music when I've been upset or feel like I've lost control or I feel like I don't have anyone to listen to me. Music has been a fantastic asset. It's made me feel like I really, hey Laura, how are you? Basically, it's someone who a form of way that I've been able to do it. Music is just something that soothes me and calms me, makes me feel reassured that I'm here, I'm still listening to people. And Laura, you know who I'm on about. Jeff, aka Gambling Joker, aka Creators Alliance. You were friends with him on Facebook as well, I believe, Laura, because I looked yesterday and you were friends with him. So yeah, I'm just talking about Jeff and a way that grief has been affecting me with regards to Jeff's passing and the whole process of accepting it and dealing with it. Doing things such as colouring books, again, it's a way of therapy, self-calming, self-thinking, self-meditating. Colouring books are a good way of keeping grounded and keeping calm and letting out your emotions in a way that is a way to focus on numbers or lines or pages. And like, it's a good way for me to keep calm and to understand myself. Again, talking to professionals, I can't stress this enough. Don't sit in silence. If you're grieving, it's the worst thing you can do. Reach out to somebody who is a professional in the field of grief, or if you're on the spectrum, reach out to your local autism support services or autism diagnostic service. My local autism diagnostic service, fantastic. Can't fault them. My social worker has been absolutely amazing. She's talked to me for 2 hours yesterday, and was it Wednesday, I think, yeah. And she calmed me, she listened to me, she didn't judge me, she made me feel like my feelings were vital and they were valid and I wasn't going mad. And always talk to somebody, regardless if it's a professional in the field or someone who may be attached to the field of grievance and like bereavement and counseling. Go and talk to someone, go and see someone, because they are the best people there for you. Like, these are the things that I've had that have helped me, and continue to help me through my grieving journey. My grieving journey by no means is over. No, it's not. It's going to take a while before I'm done grieving. My grieving process right now is just starting. I'm just dealing with the start of it. I'm just at the tip of my emotions right now. Hey Ron, how you doing? And basically, I want you to remember you're never alone. If you're going through the grieving process, hey Jamie Show, how are you, Joe? Much love and respect. I know you're probably still at work listening to me, so I appreciate that. Or if you're not, I'll give you a call straight after this stream. But yeah, make sure you talk to people, reach out to people, because grieving and being bereaved is hard and it's not easy. I'm not saying that my way is easy or the right way at all. I'm not. When you are grieving, you don't know how your body's going to respond. And for me, I've been up and down manic. I've been upset. I've been angry. I've been confused. I've been irritated. I've been sad. I felt lost. I do still feel a bit hopeless. I've kind of doubted my ability to do Jeff justice with him not being here. And I've kind of given myself a bit of a rough kick in the ass because I doubt myself so much that I think that I'm not going to do things that were, hey, Sister Abigail, how are you? And basically that I don't know how I can function without him. And I know Jeff would be extremely disappointed with my attitude right now. Grief is a process, people. It's going to take me time. It's going to take me I know, Joe. I know exactly. Like, I miss him. Don't get me wrong. I miss my family members who have gone. I miss my grandma. It's 3 years this year for her. Where that 3 years has gone, I do not know. That's gone crazily quickly. It'll be 5 years for my Aunt Nikki and 6 years for my Aunt June this year. So, you know, I've had a lot of death to deal with. I've had a lot of people to visit, and each death is different. Each death is a different grieving process. Each death will not be the same. And the amount of people say, oh, grief's just the same. You're sad, you're angry. No, it's not, because for me, it's heightened. I have to go through 10 times everything else that you guys go through. I have to go through the denial, the anger, the confusion, the hurt, the stress, the anxiety, the feeling sick, feeling dizzy. Like, I don't just go through the standard emotions that you guys go through. I go through a shit heap of big feelings that I've had to learn to control and push down into my agenda, because I don't want to upset people. That's the last thing I need to be doing on here. But I wanted to talk about this because it's important. It's grief, it's loss, it's bereavement. It's important. People don't talk about this stuff, and I don't know why. It's something that everybody's going to go through at some time, some pace, somewhere. You will lose someone, regardless of how many people that I've lost in the last 12 years. You will go through this, and you can come back and look at this stream and listen to what I've said, because you will lose somebody, and you will know somebody who is going through grief and despair and distress and anxiety and feeling sick and feeling numb and feeling lost. You'll go through that, because you will see them change. You will see them present differently. Like, I'm sitting here trying to be positive and explain it from my perspective and how I want things to change. And, you know, right now, am I ready? No, I'm not ready to change, because I'm still in the period of losing my friend, accepting that it's happened, letting him go, knowing he's no longer here in the physical sense, but I know he's up here looking down on me. I have to accept that. And exactly, this is the thing. Like, Jeff wouldn't want me to be upset, regardless of how many streams I talk about him on and videos I talk about him on. And, you know, I just want to share a few tips basically about grief, really. And yeah, I was going to play a little bit of a video that Jeff actually talked to me about, but I don't know if YouTube will strike me if I was to play the little video that he actually mentioned me on. I don't know if I should do it or not, but I might just risk it. Give me a second. So I do have another YouTube tab open. There we go. Let me play this. I get on his channel. There we go. Then I have to play. Where is it here? Pause, because I don't want to get copyrighted. All right. I'm gonna share screen. So give me a second. Share. All right, how do I? All right. All right, how do I do this?
Wondering why. Okay.
So there we go, guys. That's the that's the video. That's the video of Jeff talking about me, and okay. So I hope you guys heard that. That's the video that Jeff actually mentioned me. I'm not going to play any more of it, but okay, I will, Joe. I'll give you a call in about a good 10-15 minutes maybe. But yeah, that's the video that I got from Jeff from his channel, and I love him dearly. Jeff, I miss you, buddy. Love you, best friend. I wish you could be here to see this, but yeah, I just wanted to let people know that was the video that Jeff actually talked about me in depth and saved me from a lot of people who were bashing me and hating me. But yeah, that is the video in its kind of entirety. And I couldn't imagine having a best friend than him. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about grief in general and kind of how I'm feeling right now. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed hearing my perspective on grief and autism. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the chat. Let me know if you enjoyed hearing Jeff's perspective on me and our friendship. I'm actually going to close that tab now in case it starts playing again. But yeah, let me know if you heard the audio and if you liked what he said. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have. I'm very open, obviously, to answering questions on grief, autism, mental health, anything that I can answer from my own perspective. And yeah, that was kind of Jeff's attitude in a way to me, that he kind of appreciated everything that I did for him. We worked together a lot, and unfortunately I don't have any more footage because unfortunately Jeff deleted his channels. But yeah, that was just one video that I was still able to get hold of to play for you. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a great day. If you have any questions, let me know here in the chat right now. If not, I will wrap this up and end it for now. I have been on nearly 40 minutes. I didn't expect to be on that long, to be honest, anyway. Let me see what's saying in the chat. It mentions you, it's fair. You just go for it and then give commentary. Yeah, that's what I did. Have a great day. Have a garden. Take care, my friend. If anyone else is in the chat, yeah, so that's Jeff's video, basically in a snapshot. And thank you so much, Jeff. And you did that video and you're here because I didn't realize how much you actually felt about me. So yeah, but guys, you can come back and rewatch this on the replay when I upload it as a video. I appreciate everyone being here to support me. It really does mean the world to me. Like I said, I haven't really been active because I've been grieving and kind of trying to get my head around the situation. And all I can stress is go and talk to somebody. Don't suffer in silence, because the worst thing that you can do is hide. And like I've done that, I regret it. It's the worst thing to do, because if you feel like you need to hide, it's not a good feeling. Death shouldn't be negative. It should be a way of celebrating. And this is my way of getting my final thoughts and feelings out. And I hope you've enjoyed hearing my perspective. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me in the chat. It's basically the way that I basically wanted to just pay a tribute to Jeff. And I love you, buddy. I know you're probably watching over me right now and thinking, oh, not again, Gemma. But yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to play and kind of show you. If you did hear the audio, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard the audio. If not, I will replay it right now just to close us out, so you can hear Jeff actually talking about me. And it's just basically like a 5-minute clip of him talking about me and how he appreciates me. But yeah, grief shouldn't be he should be talking about grief more, because it's a common thing to everybody and it's going to happen over and over and over again. I just have to get used to it, because of course I am going to lose more family in the future and stuff. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. I think I'm going to wrap this up now, guys. If you have nothing else to ask me, I think I'll wrap this up. I have been on like 45 minutes. I pretty much said all I needed to say about grief from my own perspective. But yeah, thanks so much for listening, guys. Thanks so much for coming in and support me, and I will see you soon, guys. Bye.